what death row looks like around the world.
Yeah. You know that moment of dread you get when you're writing a text about how much you hate your boss, but instead of sending it to your friend, you accidentally send it to him instead? Yeah. I want you to multiply that terrifying moment by about 1,000,000. That's exactly how it feels like when soldiers kick down your door at 3 a.m. in North Korea. Maybe you've been convicted for criticizing the government to the wrong person. Maybe you were caught watching smuggled South Korean drama. Or maybe you simply dozed off during one of Kim Jong-un's speeches. It doesn't really matter what you did, because your fate was sealed the moment someone reported you. You're simply going to be executed, but not in the way you might imagine. The soldiers will arrive at your door before dawn, kick it down, and drag you out of your bed, then load you into the back of their truck. Your family will helplessly watch as you vanish into the darkness. A few hours later, you'll find yourself standing in an open field in Pyongyang, a military training ground, far from any
Wait,
city.
you can't go to sleep if the nigga talking? How is that fair? What if I'm sleepy? What if I got, what's that one thing called? What's it called? Narcolepsy. What if I got narcolepsy?
You are tied to a pole. Your hands are bound behind you, and you can't move. The pole is planted somewhere about 100 feet away from an anti-aircraft cannon. This thing wasn't originally built for people. It was designed to literally blow up aircraft thousands of feet in the sky. But now, it's aimed at you. The soldiers force you to your knees and bind your hands behind your back. A thick rope is wrapped around your torso, securing you to a wooden pole, with no room to breathe freely. The crowds are already gathered, because this isn't going to be a private affair. It is a message, a spectacle designed to terrify anyone else who might dare to step out of line. The crowd watches in forced silence because showing any sympathy for you could mean they're next. You stand there, tied to that pole, knowing what's about to happen without being able to do anything about it. Your last thoughts narrow on the bathroom. You wish you could have used it before your execution, but interrupting Kim Jong-un again would only result in your family being targeted next. And besides, it doesn't really matter since you pee your pants in fear when they fire the cannon at you. On the bright side, nobody would ever know that you wet your pants in your final moments, because
So you just hit me with a rocket used to take down, what was it, planes or something? Used to take down planes or something because I fell asleep during you talking? What?
shell doesn't...
I'm never going to North Korea. Did Speed go to North Korea? If he did, then shout out to him, bro. But gee, I can't even go to sleep if you talking.
just end you. It literally evaporates you. Your body becomes so obliterated that there's nothing left but fragments scattered across the field. There is no body to bury, no remains, and no more pieces of your existence. The only thing left behind is a glaringly obvious message. Don't upset Kim. Japan. You've been sentenced to death in Japan for murder. But unlike other countries where you might know your execution date months in advance, Japan doesn't work that way. They don't tell you when you're going to pass away. You're placed in a cell barely larger than a bathroom. The walls are bare concrete. You wake up every single morning not knowing if this is your last day alive and if today is the day they're going to come for you. The uncertainty is deliberate. It's part of the punishment. You're isolated in that tiny cell with minimal human contact. Even the guards don't speak to you that much. You have no access to the outside world and no way of knowing what's happening beyond those walls. Every footstep in the hallway could be them coming to get you. Every time you hear keys jingling, your heart races. Days pass, then months, then years. The stress and anxiety from anticipation drives you absolutely insane after a decade has passed. Then finally, in passing while a guard is giving you your food for the day, he lets you know that in just 3 hours you're going to be executed. After all that waiting and psychological torture of not knowing, you only get a few hours notice that...
So they playing with your mind on this one. Imagine trying to like prep yourself every day for an execution. Then 10 years pass and then be like, all right, we're going to do it today. It's been 10 years. We're going to do it today. Damn, they really playing with a nigga mind, bro.
Today is the day you're going to pass away. They lead you to the execution chamber and, well, yeah. According to a 2009 investigation by The Guardian and Amnesty International, this system of uncertainty has driven some prisoners to develop severe mental illness from the prolonged psychological torment. They pace their cells obsessively, talking to themselves, completely detached from reality. By the time they're finally executed, some of them don't even fully understand what's happening anymore.
Has Kyrie texted you back?
I don't want
That
to
is
talk.
insane, bro. That is actually crazy.
Afghanistan. Now imagine you're in a country that's living under Taliban rule. You've been accused of adultery or maybe theft. The trial, if you could really even call it that, is quick. There'd be no real defense or due process. The verdict is already decided before you even walk into the room, and now you've been sentenced to death. Especially if you're a woman. They take you out into a public square where a crowd has already
They
started
don't like women, right? Or like they don't like women aren't allowed to do certain stuff in there, right?
to gather. Men, women, and even children are there because the Taliban wants everyone to see what happens to those who break their laws. You're forced to your knees beside a tall wall, about 15 feet high, made of concrete and stone. Your back is pressed against it. Then they tie your hands and announce your crime to the crowd, shouting it loud enough for everyone to hear. The accusation, the sentence, all of it laid bare for public consumption. Then you hear a bulldozer rumbling. It's deep, mechanical, and growing louder with each passing second. That's when the reality of what's about to happen truly hits you. They're not going to you. They're not going to hit you. They're literally going to crush you. The bulldozer's blade makes contact with the wall and it starts to tilt. You try to move, but the ropes hold you in place. The wall starts falling, slowly at first, then faster, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. The concrete and stone come crashing down on top of you with thousands of pounds of force. Your bones shatter on impact. Your chest is compressed, and you're buried alive under the rubble. The crowd watches as the dust settles, and somewhere beneath that pile of concrete and stone, your life ends in agony.
Damn.
Saudi Arabia. Imagine you've been convicted of taking someone's life, trafficking illegal substances, or maybe apostasy.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is making my stomach hurt, bro. Like, what's the first one I saw, and now this? Jeez. They don't play around here, bro.
The trial is over, and you've been sentenced to execution. In Saudi Arabia, that means one thing: a public beheading by sword. On the morning of your execution, you're transported to a public square in the center of the city. Locals call it Chop Chop Square, a grim nickname that's become normalized through repetition. The execution always takes place after Friday prayers, and there's already a crowd gathered to watch. You're forced to kneel on the ground while an executioner stands behind you. He's holding a long, traditional Arabic sword, sharp enough to cut through bone in a single stroke. And then, in one swift motion, the executioner raises the sword high above his head and brings it down with practiced precision. If he's skilled, and he usually is, your head is severed from your body in a single stroke. But if he's not, he keeps repeating the process until your head is chopped off. Your consciousness doesn't...
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's as bad, like, as getting a wall thrown on you or getting a missile shot at you. Like, that's actually crazy. This one isn't, like, it's not terrible. Because you better hope the nigga got some skill and swordsmanship. Because then he can just get you over, like, just one go.
Fade immediately. For somewhere between 2 and 7 seconds, your brain may still function. You may still be aware, even as your head separates from your body and falls to the ground. Then everything goes dark. Saudi Arabia is one of the last countries in the world that still uses beheading as its primary method of execution.
How is this legal?
South Africa. Let's shift to the 90s during a country's internal strife against apartheid. Imagine you're suspected of being an informant, someone who's been working with the segregated government while intentionally selling out your own people. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but in the chaos of resistance and revolution, accusations alone are often enough. There's no trial, no judge, no jury, just mob justice. They grab you in the street or drag you from your home, force ties over your head and arms, one after another, until you're wearing multiple ties that trap your arms against your torso like a straitjacket made of rubber. You can't move them. You can't fight back. You can't even escape. Then someone brings gasoline. You smell it before you feel it, and the sharp chemical odor makes your eyes water. They pour it over the tires, over you, and it soaks into your clothes, into your hair, into everything. There you are, begging, screaming, trying to explain, but the crowd isn't listening. The only thing people want to see is a lighter setting you ablaze. And set ablaze, you are. When the fire starts, the heat is immediate and excruciating. The rubber tires begin to melt, fusing with your skin as the flames consume you. This isn't a quick passing. The fire burns slowly, and every second feels like an eternity. You're conscious for most of it, feeling your body being destroyed by the flames.
Bro, that's one of the worst executions in the world, bro. Being burned alive. Because it's like, it's not even nothing slow. It's like, The fire is literally like on you. It's like you like anyone that has ever been like burned by like a stove or like accidentally like touched fire or something like that. You know how like it hurts. It genuinely hurts and burns. And imagine that happening to you for at least like 2 minutes. That is genuine. That is insane. I would rather be taken out by the missile at this point, cause at least it's like gone in 1 second, just like that, like just like that, just like that. I'm gone. You got to get burned alive. Nah, I can't do that.
The crowd watches, some in approval, some in horror, but no one stops it. This was necklacing, a brutal form of execution used during the anti-apartheid struggle. While it wasn't an official government method, it became a horrifying symbol of the violence that consumed South Africa during that era. If you've ever wondered what death looks like in a territory controlled by ISIS, you're about to get a glimpse of it.
Don't they chop?
Imagine that you are
Don't they like chopping his head off? Or something
accused
like
of
that?
homosexuality or adultery, or maybe a crime that violates their extreme interpretation of Islamic law. You wouldn't require a judge to tell you what will happen next. There's no real trial, just an accusation and a sentence. They take you to the top of a tall building, about 4 to 5 stories high, in the center of town. A crowd gathered to witness your punishment. You're standing on the edge, and before you can even process what's happening, they push you to the ground. You freefall for a couple seconds, but when you land, the impact is so devastating that your bones break and your organs rupture. If you're unlucky, you may still be conscious when you hit the ground. And yes, surviving this execution is extraordinarily unlucky, because ISIS doesn't stop there. If you're still alive after the fall, the crowd that's been watching you doesn't disperse. Instead, they move in closer while picking up stones, rocks, and whatever else they can find. They begin throwing them at your broken body. Whether you're already dead or still clinging,
Bro, oh my gosh. You gotta jump off of a building, then get hit with boulders and rocks. Come on, bro.
to life, they stone you, continuing the brutality
Jeez,
even after the
bro,
fall.
that would hurt, bro.
United States.
Oh, man.
The United States likes to present itself as more civilized and more humane in how it handles capital punishment.
Sometimes.
Lethal injection is supposed to be clean, clinical, and painless. But before it became the standard, there was the electric chair, a machine with a history
Bro,
of
I ain't gonna lie. I got shown a video by someone like when I was like 8 or like 7 years old about like this one kid. He like got accused of like SA-ing 2 little white girls, and I got shown a video of him getting an electric chair, bro. That shit scarred me for life, bro. I ain't gonna lie. The electric chair is one of the worst things too, cause it's like it's not even instant. Instant death is better than the slow, painful one, bro. It sucks, bro.
big failures. Alan Lee Davis, known as Tiny because of his massive 300-pound frame, was convicted of murder and sentenced to death in Florida. On July 8, 1999, he was strapped into the state's electric chair, a device meant to deliver a quick and supposedly humane passing. But something went wrong. The executioners strapped Davis in too tightly, and the moment they flipped the switch, 2,000 volts of electricity surged through his body, causing immediate and severe physical trauma. Alan's face bursted open, with pouring out of his eyes, mouth, nose, and his, groin area. His passing was not instant. Executioners were forced to listen to the 300-pound man's muffled screams as he struggled to get free from the chair's straps. The execution was so disturbing that it sparked immediate controversy. Photos of Davis afterward were released to the media and ignited a nationwide debate about the electric chair and whether it qualified as cruel and unusual punishment. Alan's case was so extreme that he became the last man to be executed by the electric chair, forcing Florida to change its method to lethal injections instead. However, he wasn't the only one to suffer a botched ending like this in Florida. 9 years earlier, Jesse Tefero faced the same chair after being convicted of murdering 2 police officers. The procedure had been checked and rechecked, or so they believed. The moment the current flowed, flames literally exploded from Tafero's head, shocking everyone in the room. The execution team stopped and restarted the current 3 times before the man's suffering was finally ended. Later investigations revealed the cause. Someone had used a synthetic sponge instead of the natural sea sponge required for proper electrical conduction.
Oh yeah, they did that to the guy I was talking about too. They did that to him too, so it don't instantly kill you. It like, bro, that's weird.
The synthetic sponge could not conduct electricity correctly and overheated, causing the fire. Some countries make executions fast and public, others let the slow psychological damage happen long before the physical demise. Either way, the condemned are stripped of their humanity and turned into symbols or statistics. Whether you support or oppose capital punishment, these stories force us to face a hard truth. The way we treat even the worst among us says something about us as a society. Be kind to the people around you, value the security and freedoms you have, and as usual, have a happy day.
Hey, yeah. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Some of these people got it terribly, bro.